division. My name is McKinney. This is Chaz. We will be your moderator and scorekeeper tonight. We've also got Tossup, and their name is Tomas. So we're your staff this evening. Thank you very much for being with us. I would like to go ahead and have each player test their buzzer when I call their name, and just go ahead and tell us a little bit about where you're from, and we'll move on to the match after that. So let's start with Brendan.
I'm Brendan.
All right, excellent. And Darsh. Jiao Yu. Min Yi. Walter.
Walter.
Cameron. Isabella. Max.
Max from New Jersey.
And Par.
I'm Par from California.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a round of applause. So, out on 40. 40 is the golden number. That's what you are shooting for. No matter how many people go out within the round, we will continue to read the rest of the pack. Is everybody ready? Yes, sir.
Someone gets out, do we take the high score?
Yes.
Because it would tie.
We'll break ties. Yep, absolutely. Is everybody ready? Okay, good luck to all players. This is toss-up number 1. Charles Walcott documented this event through fossils in the Burgess Shale, including Anomalocaris and Picaya. The small shelly fauna preceded this event, which saw the first appearance of trilobites and King Rate explosions. Correct, that's 5 points for Walter. Toss-up 2. This diagram includes a portion called the instability. Let's close over here. I'm sorry? Sorry. That is 6 points for Par. Well done. A period of low sunspot observation between 1796 to let's buzz over here. I'm sorry, I cannot accept that. That will be a -2 for Jiao Yu. Is named for this man and is similar to the modern minimum. Along with Proust's law, this man's pioneered the statement of the law of multiple proportions during the study of this puzzle. I'm sorry. Dalton is correct. That is 5 points for Darsh. Toss-up number 4. This disease is caused by a mutation of the hexa gene on chromosome 15, which causes the buildup of GM2 ganglioside within cells. Yeah, that's puzzle. Tay-Sachs is correct. That's 6 for Par. High index developed by Dr. Carlson indicate this condition. Negative impacts of this condition can be partially relieved using an Olszewski tube, which cycles anoxic water. This condition often occurs when nitrates and phosphates from suppose over here. That is 5 points for Darsh. Toss-up number 6. This astronomical object contains features such as the Messina Casmata Canyon and the Roussillon Group's scarp, named for French and Italian cities. This astronomical object also includes a crater called Gertrude, and it was discovered by William Herschel alongside the puzzle here. Answer, please. I'm sorry, that is a -2 for Par. It was discovered by William Herschel alongside this puzzle over here. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. That'll be a -2 for Isabella alongside this over here. Titania is correct. That is 5 for Darsh. Toss-up 7. Steiner's theorem relates this quantity to an axis parallel to another, and for a thin rock rotating about its end, this puzzle here. That is 6 points. These things in canonical form is transformed by Fermat's transition lemma. Representing these things can be described using Cauchy's 2-line notation or the more compact 1-line word notation. Random ones of these things can be generated when a sequence is shuffled by the Fisher-Gauge shuffle. For a set of n distinct elements, there are exactly n factorial. 4 points for Par. Toss-up 9. Non-zero values for this property cause intramedium scattering, violating one of the assumptions of the Beer-Lambert law. High values for this property are related to low Secchi depths, which are determined by observing the point at which a black and white disk is no longer clearly visible. There's a buzz over here. Turbidity is correct. That is 5 points for Brendan. Toss-up number 10, after which we will do a score check. This website's reputation system was built using Dapper, a micro ORM that was developed by this website's co-creator. This website's Markdown-based editor uses PageDown, a library forked from Markdown. Users with sufficient reputation, let's close over here. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. There will be a -2 for maps. With sufficient reputation, let's close over here. I'm sorry. That is 5 points for Darsh. So what do we have?
I have a score of 5 for Brendan, 26 for Darsh, -2 for Jayu, 0 for Mindy, 5 for Walter, 0 for Cameron, -2 for Isabella, -2 for Max, and 14 for Carla.
Wonderful. Do all scorekeepers agree? Excellent. This is toss-up number 11. Good luck, all players. A gene aiding survival in low oxygen environments now found in Tibetans likely came from these people. The remains of let's close over here. Denise Evans is correct. That's 6 points. The Colgate pet check mechanism explains how these events photons escape from high density regions. These events first detected by Vela satellites searching for nuclear close over here. Gamma ray burst is correct for 6 for Brendan. Team. This method was invented by Carrie Mullis and Michael Smith. That is 6 for Brendan. Tossup 14. This physician gained fame treating gladiators and described the recurrent laryngeal nerve in dissected pigs. His theory of the 4 humors dominate. Let's close over here. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. That'll be a -2 for Max. Dominating. Galen is correct. That's 6 for Paul. A unit called mil derived from 1/1000 of this. Let's close over here. Answer, please. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. That will be a -2 for Darsh. This unit is used for adjusting firearm sights. A pseudovector measuring the amount of these units traveled per second is signified by the lowercase Greek letter omega. 1 complete revolution measures as 2 pi. Let's close over here. 5 points for Max. Tossup 16. Several species of this genus were reclassified following genetic analysis of 165R RNA. These gram-positive bacteria produce vector. That's going to be a -2 for Zhao Yu. Let's see, produce bacteriocins and convert pyruvate to lactate via fermentation. Members of this genus are used to produce yogurt and kimchi. It's buzz over here. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. That'll be a -2 for par. And the adopting. One more time. That is correct. That is 5 points for Walter. Tossup 17. Kepler predicted this phenomenon in 1639 using the Rudolphine tables. This phenomenon was observed in 2004 and 2012 to refine techniques used for finding pixels. That is 6 points for Isabella. This biologist drew on a quote from Charles Darwin entitled the essay collection, A Devil's Chaplain. This biologist used the analogy of flowing water to explain how genes proliferate through a population in the book River Out of Eden. This is buzz over here. That is 5 points for Dark. 6 is notes. Tossup 19. Fluid produced within these glands is a complex mixture of lipids, including triglycerides, wax esters, squalene, and free fatty acids. Overactivity of these glands, I suppose I'm sorry, that's incorrect. That will be a -2 for par. Is a major factor in the development of acne vulgaris. These glands, I suppose. That is correct. That is a 5-pointer for Brent. Tossup 20, after which we will do a score check. The Riemann zeta function and the polylogarithm appear in an ideal equation of state named for this man. That is incorrect. -2 for Walter. This man developed the theory for particles that do not follow the Fermi-Dirac statistics, which in quantum statistics explains how laser light was here. Bose is correct. That is 6.
with 16, Darshao with 41, Jayu at -4, Minyi with 0, Walter with 14, Cameron with 0, Isabella with 4, Max with 7, and Harvard with 10.
All scorers agree? Excellent. Everybody ready for the last few questions or last word?
Sorry, Travis.
Discrepancy, never mind.
Yeah.
12.
Yes.
Brendan, did you get +6 or
He
+5?
got +6.
And question 9, you got 5.
Question 9. Hold on 1 second. Question 9, you said?
9, you got 5. 12, you got 6.
That's
Right, you got 5.
19. Give me a second to look at 19. Yeah, 19 was 5.
That's 10.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have questions? Yes, I can. Everybody agree?
Good.
Okay, great. Here is Tossup 21. Cells that produce this substance in the central nervous system are called oligodendrocytes, while Schwann cells do it in the peripheral nervous system. In multiple sclerosis, the immune system attacks this substance, leading to inflammation. That is correct. That is 5 points for Walter. Tossup 22. When ethylene gas is reacted with this element, it creates a compound that was used as an additive to gasoline. That had, I'm sorry? That's incorrect. That is a -2 for Brendan. That had lead anti-knocking agents. A pest control agent containing this element and a methyl is also responsible for ozone depletion and has been. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. That'll be a -2 for Jiao. And has been limited in production by the Montreal Protocol. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. That is -2 for Max. That will kill the question. We're looking for bromine. Tossup 23. Roger Wolcott Sperry received the Nobel Prize in Medicine for his work on this procedure. This procedure is the most common cause of alien hand syndrome, in which a patient's limbs. I'm sorry, that is incorrect. That'll be a -2 for Parv. In which a patient's limbs move without conscious intent. This procedure is typically performed only for severe epilepsy cases to prevent seizures from spreading throughout the brain. For the points, name this procedure in which the corpus callosum is severed, separating the left and right brain hemispheres. That is time. That is the split brain procedure or corpus callosum. Tossup 24. This quantity can deform certain liquids in the Moses effect. This vector quantity takes part in a cross product with the velocity of a particle in the Lorentz force law. This quantity is uniform in certain regions when created by a Helmholtz coil. An induced version of this quantity opposes the original version of this quantity per. Sorry, that is incorrect. That's -2 par. Let's see. Opposes the original version of this quantity per Lenz's law. An electric current generates this quantity. It's buzz over here. I'm sorry, I don't believe I can take that. That is a -2 over for Cameron. An electric current generates this quantity, which will be calculated by the Biot-Savart law. Point: what vector field can be measured in Teslas? Sorry, that's incorrect. That will be a -1 for Max. It is the magnetic field. So we'll Tossup 25. This quantity can be calculated in terms of two values of the radius for curved interfaces in the Kelvin equation. The saturation ratio, which is the ratio of two forms of this quantity for a solution droplet and for pure water with a flat surface, appear in the polar equation in meteorology. Examples of this quantity are multiplied by a mole fraction in Raoult's law. For the points, each quantity that measures the force exerted over. Sorry, that is incorrect. That'll be a -2 for Walter. Measures the force. Vapor pressure is correct. That is 4 for Parv. Tossup 26, after which we'll do another score check. This type of interaction consists of a large positively charged particle, a small negatively charged particle, and has low positive charge per Fajan terms. Compounds with this interaction will lose a crystal lattice structure when undergoing solvation in solvents like water. This interaction is exhibited in salts like sodium and water. That is 5 points for Max. Score check.
Brendan with 14, Darsh out with 1, Jayu with -6, Minyi with 0, Walter with 17, Cameron with -2, Isabella with 4, Max with 9, and Parv with 10.
Everybody agrees? Wonderful. Only a few more left. Good luck, everybody. Tossup 27. Some of these organisms create long chain alkenes, which are proxies for the presence of sea ice and highly branched isoprenoids. A structure called the wraith releases mucilage, allowing these organisms to glide. Two orders of these organisms include the penales and the centrales. Silicic acid is used to create the cell wall of these organisms. That is 5 points for Walter. Tossup 28. The Alphic type of these devices utilize a CO2-driven mechanism instead of a spring. In 2022, Mylan was forced to pay $250 million to settle a price gouging lawsuit related to these devices. Prior to use, a typically blue safety release must be removed before the orange tip on the other side of these devices can be unlocked. When self-administered, patients swing these. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. That'll be a -2 for par. Swing these devices towards their thigh to ensure EpiPen is correct. That is 4 points for Mindy. Tossup 29. The Linz-Donovitz method replaced the use of this process, which featured a procedure called the blow and is often immediately preceded by puddling. This process was improved by adding spiegelicin, an alloy containing manganese, which was a modification created by Robert Forrester Mouchet. When using a refractory lining, this process can be referred to as the Gilchrist-Thomas process. That's close over here. Bessemer is correct. That's 5 points in par. Last question, everybody. Good luck. This phenomenon is often funneled via mountain passes such as the Newhall and Cajon passes. This phenomenon is a type of katabatic wind which originates from a high-pressure area within the Great Basin. That's close over here. I'm sorry? That's incorrect. That'll be a -2 for Zhao Yu. And this phenomenon can also serve to carry valley fever into more populated areas. It's close over here. I'm sorry? Prompt? I need an answer? I'm sorry, that's incorrect. That would be a -2 for Minyi. More populated areas. These winds, which typically occur in autumn, are also known as Diablo winds when they occur near San Francisco Bay. For the points made, Santa Ana is correct. It's 4 points for Walter. All right, well, this is right. All right, so we have your scores. Jess is going to read them for you in ascending order. No problem. Once again, I'm going to remind everybody that we are moving to Regency RS. Everybody will have to clear out of this room, and we're going to Regency RS.
Okay. So in 8th place, we have Jaiyu.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, Jaiyu with -8. In 7th place, we have BB with 2 points. Oh, sorry. Yes, 7th place is in. Sorry about this. In 9th place with -8 points is Jaiyu. In 8th place with -2 points is Cameron. In 7th place with 2 points is Maybe. In 6th place with 4 points is Isabella. In 5th place with 9 points is Max. In 4th place with 13 points is Par. And then our bronze 3rd place finisher is Brendan with 14. Silver medal is Walter gold medal winner. It starts with 40.